Welcome back to the CryptoFather channel. Today is the 1st of August. Happy August. Hope your July went by well. I'd like to start today's video with a quote that I reposted quote, or a quote that I hijacked from some other group, but it is a very important post. It's a very important quote, rather, and I'd like to start with that. Ask not how many Bitcoin you can buy. Ask how many Bitcoin Sailor can buy for you. Strategy Revelations 21:21. The things that Michael Saylor is doing are turning a bit quacky. Apparently, this is the 5th time that Strategy is issuing an offering, and they're offering STRC. And let's just take a quick look here. We've got MSTR, STRD, STRK, STRF. So the 5th brand new offering that Michael Saylor is bringing to you fine people is STRC. Suck this wicked cock. I don't know. 4.2 billion. This is the 5th. He's going to open a stock exchange just for his stock for his company. It's just going to be the Strategy Stock Exchange, SST, or maybe just SS. In any case, this is the 5th one that he's offering, and like I said, it's just turning to be ridiculous. I mean, how many of these things is he going to pump for out of thin air? And I'm pretty sure that there was a point. He was doing a presentation. I saw a quick video yesterday. It was just yesterday that I saw him doing a presentation explaining how his little scam works. Basically, he takes money from people, then he takes that money, he gets more loans, and he buys more Bitcoin. And it's all of that is for your benefit. So bizarre. Trump slams Jerome Powell after an interest rate decision. Here's what he said. What did he say? Trump blasted Fed Jerome Powell, calling him too stupid and too political after the central bank chose not to cut interest rates. Tensions are rising over Powell's future, with Trump hinting at possible removal before Powell's term ends in 2026, raising concerns about Fed independence. 2 Trump-appointed Fed governors broke ranks, voting for a rate cut, marking the first dual dissent on a hold decision in over 3 decades. The announcement came out on the 30th, but nothing good came out of that. There was nothing specific that was brought to light. So that's why the markets are tanking. Presently, the market's sitting at $3.8 trillion. It's $110 billion that was basically taken out of the market. Trading volume stands at $138 billion. Bitcoin dropped to $116,000. This is the lowest we've seen it in a few days. Ethereum is pumping, apparently $3,745. I think it broke 3,900. We were on the precipice of breaking through 4,000, and then Jerome Powell and Trump happened, and we are where we are right now. BNB is back down below 800. Solana still struggling to reach 200 again. Cardano at 75 cents. Toncoin is not going anywhere. Toncoin is not breaking $4 anymore, man. This is it. This is the top for Toncoin. Despite strategic reserves being built for Toncoin, man, it's not moving. And Litecoin back down to $108. Very sad to see. Polkadot below $4 once more. And Meowcoin has dipped massively as well, with a market cap of $424,000 and a price tag of 5.5. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but TradeOgre, because TradeOgre is one of the places where you can trade Meowcoin. TradeOgre is out, which is not a great thing. It's been out for a couple of days, and well, crap, man, not great. But if you want to trade Meowcoin, you can do that on non-KYC. I guess non-KYC was the original exchange, and it's still doing well. So you can get up on non-KYC and start trading Meowcoin and other coins as well. Bitcoin bull market is over. Analyst calls 50% crash to $60,000. Wow, already? I don't think we're there just yet. In a post shared on a TradingView, crypto analyst Zanrox argues that the current bullish cycle is nearly over. Okay, not quite over just yet, pointing to a potential downtrend that would see Bitcoin price crash to $60,000. Now, I'm not sure if this will happen. If it does happen, Strategy and Michael Saylor is going to go bust. This is why he's in such a hurry to buy up as much Bitcoin as he possibly can in order to avoid a crash of this magnitude. And it's probably going to work. I think his buy-in price is $73,000. This is $73,000, 511 cents per Bitcoin for him. And by the way, his holdings have increased to 628,000 Bitcoins. So he added like 21,000 Bitcoin just over the past week. So if the price of Bitcoin dips below this level, man, Michael Saylor's strategy is fucked. This analysis comes as Bitcoin is trading within a very quiet phase, prompting many crypto traders and crypto analysts to start reassessing its next direction. Xanrox predicts Bitcoin to top at 122,000 and crash to 60,000. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index continues to flash greed, and most analysts still argue that Bitcoin is setting up for another leg upward. However, an interesting technical outlook challenges this bullish consensus and issues a crash warning. Notably, crypto analyst Xanrox identifies a sell signal on a weekly candlestick time frame chart after Bitcoin reached the 1.618 Fibonacci extension and touched the long-term 2017, 2021, and 2025 trend line, with the latest touch of the trend line aligning to Bitcoin's recent all-time high at $122,000. According to him, the most recent touch of this trend line might be the top of the current cycle. Furthermore, he noted that Elliott wave structure has now completed wave 5 of a rising wedge and a larger wave 5 impulse move. As such, a corrective phase is about to start. That's a lot of indicators that might be indicating that the bull run is over. Bitcoin's current structure is still showing strength on higher time frames, and several other analysts see the recent consolidation between 117 and 119 as a base for continuation toward 130,000 and beyond. The lack of major sell-side volume, the firm hold above the $118,000 price level, and the 50-week, which this is has been invalidated right now, and the 50-week moving average and bullish indicators across altcoins like Ethereum are on-chain, signals that the Bitcoin price still has more room to run before it reaches a peak price this cycle. I do still believe that we're going to go into November and December, despite the fact that I was looking, we didn't look at charts. So Bitcoin basically right now broke below the Fibonacci retracement, the 0.05 Fibonacci retracement that I just drew up. And it was hovering about this level. It was hovering about this 117,000 price for a long time. We had a lot of touches here, tap, 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 and finally it broke down below it. Of course, it didn't close the candle just yet. We've got 2 more hours, and I assume that a candle will open below this level, so we could see Bitcoin dip back down to $114,000. That would be possible as well, because sadly Bitcoin broke above this resistance here, 121,000, and it reached 123,000, but then it continued to move sideways for a couple of weeks, and the movement wasn't sustained so far, so that's not too great. Just in, crypto bank Anchorage Digital just bought 1.2 billion Bitcoin. That's massive. So this is another institution that is picking up Bitcoin en masse, and of course that helps keep Bitcoin stash at a higher level and prevent the massive retracement to the predicted $60,000, because like I said, this would be really bad news for strategy and a lot of these banks and institutions that are investing into Bitcoin right now at almost $17,000. Here's an interesting piece of news. Blockstream enables smart contract programmability on Bitcoin via Simplicity on Liquid Network. The announcement noted that Simplicity differs from languages like Solidity or Rust, as it is not Turing complete. According to a July 31st announcement, the idea was first posted in 2017 by researcher Russell O'Connor. Simplicity was designed as a clean slate smart contract language that is more expressive than Bitcoin script, yet tighter and safer than general purpose platforms. With this launch, developers gain a new venue to build financial applications on Bitcoin's rails. I'm not sure how whether this is going to take hold, because the Bitcoin maxis and Bitcoin supporters really desperately want Bitcoin to be more than it is. But the truth of the matter is that Ethereum and proof of stake, proof of work, I guess, whatever blockchains are cool now, is what is driving the smart contract scene, and that's where it's at right now. That's why Ethereum is pumping, and that's why Bitcoin and the smart contracts on Bitcoin will simply not, there will not be a very robust ecosystem. There may be some things, but I think it's going to be a peripheral thing. Powell remains resolute amid dissents. Despite two governor dissents for the first time in 30 years, Powell remains sternly hawkish. Fed Chair Jerome Powell did quick work in yesterday's FOMC meeting to quell any speculation about a September rate cut. With no meeting until September, optionality to guide toward a cut during next month's Jackson Hole Symposium, and 2 more jobs reports and inflation reports to look at before the next meeting, there was very little incentive for Powell to signal any sort of dovishness. As the dust settled, odds of a rate cut in September lowered from 58% to 39%. And this is why we're going to have a rate cut in September, most likely, because when everybody's turning desperately fearful and start dumping everything, the market's going to reverse, Powell's going to cut rates, and the bull run is going to be in full swing back in September. So I think we might see a red August. I may have said that before. SEC unveils Project Crypto to transform US into global blockchain leader. That's interesting. In a bold pivot, the US Securities and Exchange Commission has announced a sweeping initiative aimed at reshaping American capital markets for the blockchain era. Dubbed Project Crypto, the program has unveiled by SEC Chairman Paul S. Atkins during a speech at the American First Policy Institute. The initiative sets out a blueprint for overhauling securities regulation to accommodate digital assets, DeFi platforms, and tokenized markets, all while aligning with the recently enacted Genius Act on stablecoin oversight. Atkins made clear that the United States intends not just to catch up, but to lead the first financial revolution. So even the SEC seems to be turning a corner. Speaking of stablecoins, I just saw, let me just quickly, Jamie Dimon, there it is, CEO of JP Morgan. Jamie Dimon says he is a believer in stablecoins and a believer in blockchain, but not a believer in Bitcoin. The thing that started it all, without Bitcoin, there would be no blockchains, there would be no stablecoins. But this dude is a believer in stablecoins and blockchain because these are the things that he's trying to promote. He's trying to sell his own stablecoin. They're trying to develop a CBDC, basically, or not a CBDC. What did I call them before? BCDC, bank controlled digital currency, the Jamie Dimon currency. So of course he's going to say he believes in it, but not Bitcoin. So don't buy Bitcoin, but just start trading my cryptocurrency that I'm going to put out for my bank. What a scammer. Strategy reports record net income in Q2, files 4.2 billion STRC offering to buy more Bitcoin. It's official. Michael Saylor wants to get more of your money to buy more Bitcoin for you. 3.8 billion in Ethereum stacked by BlackRock in mere weeks. So just keep that in mind. While there's FUD and fear and all that stuff, BlackRock just keeps doing their thing. They keep stacking. They don't care. They don't care what's happening because everything's going to go up. Markets tend to go up in the long run, and so BlackRock continues stacking more Ethereum. Turns out that 75% of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF customers were first-time buyers. Now that's interesting, and this is also interesting because Larry Fink was saying that none of their customers, none of the BlackRock customers had been interested in Bitcoin, purchasing Bitcoin. But then when when BlackRock offered its ETF, 75% of the people who invested into the ETF were noobs. Wow. And finally, Visa expands stablecoin offerings amid rising competition from institutions. Visa, MasterCard, tech firms, and banking institutions are all exploring ways of using blockchain technology for payments and settlements. Payments company Visa expanded stablecoin offerings on its settlement platform by adding support for global dollar, PayPal USD, Eurocoin, and 2 new blockchain networks, Stellar and Avalanche. Wow, Stellar of all things, and Ava. The integration allows users to send and receive stablecoin payments through the supported blockchain networks or convert their balances to traditional fiat currency, Visa said in a press release on Thursday. Visa already offered support to Circle's USDC stablecoin, while supported networks for transfer and settlement include Ethereum, Solana, and the newly added chains. That's massive. Institutional interest in stablecoins is growing following the signing of the Genius stablecoin bill in the United States, as tech firms, banks, and even major retailers signal plans to enter the stablecoin market and take a piece of the pie. A lot of money is going to be made by these companies. Things are going to get easier for us, and if you are curious to find out more, make sure to pick up a copy of Crypto and Millennials, because that'll provide you with ammunition for your mind before jumping into the crypto world and before investing any money. This is the book that you need to have. It'll open a lot of synapses in your brain and let you understand what crypto is all about, why it's here to stay, and why you should be involved in it. So if you are a millennial, if you are a boomer, doesn't matter. This is the book that you need to read in order to educate yourself on the importance of cryptocurrencies. 188 pages, $11. Pre-order right now with one click for the Amazon Kindle. The copy is going to become available on September 1st. Also, make sure to pick up a Descent wallet. These things are now on sale. You get a $30 discount for the purchase of one, or a $99 discount if you purchase 2 of them. All the ref links for these puppies are below the video, so check those out. Smash the likes on this video, subscribe to the channel, enjoy your Friday. Man, it's Friday already. Have a happy freaking weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.